Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from the Film Theorist about why do we still care so much about Gravity Falls. And I don't think it's to the point where everyone is still hyper obsessed with it, but the popularity of it is still pretty damn high up there. So let's find out why.
Why is Gravity Falls still so
All the mysteries have pretty much been solved, so what else is there?
popular? Why do we all still care about a show that ran for only 2 seasons over a decade ago? Was it the writing, the storytelling,
Has it really been nearly 10 years? Wow. Still a damn good show.
the characters, all of the above? Or is it what Gravity Falls teaches us about ourselves and the dangerous world around us?
Let's find
Hello,
out.
Internet! Welcome to
it 'cause
Film
it's a good
Theory,
show.
the show that's searching for cryptids in the woods. Look, is that the subscribe button? Quick, click it before it gets away! Nice. So, at this point, we here at Film Theory are no stranger to Gravity Falls and its surrounding media. If you don't know, Gravity Falls is a series created by Alex Hirsch about the twins Dipper and Mabel Pines, spending the summer with their grunkle Stan in the sleepy town of Gravity Falls, Oregon. But, of course, there's magic and monsters and trans-dimensional beings in these woods, leading the family on adventure after adventure. We've done a lot of theories about the series, and really dug deep into it last year when The Book of Bill, a novel written in-universe by the series Big Bad
By
Bill
Bill
Cipher,
himself.
was released. What followed was a massive ARG that the entire Gravity Falls
Oh,
community
yeah.
came together to try and solve. But
Forgot
of course,
about that.
there's more happening with the book that may give us more clues and puzzles to solve. Yeah, believe it or not, but there's another edition of The Book of Bill about to hit store shelves as I write this. The limited collector's edition. You
Ooh,
can tell this
and
one's
it's
different
green.
because it's green.
Green.
No, but for real, this one is glow in the dark.
Green. Of course, green.
It's gonna come with a bunch of posters and stickers and stuff like that, and is described as having, quote, more horrible secrets. So, of course, you know that myself
Okay,
and
this is
all of
gonna
our
be
writers
nice.
all pre-ordered a copy. This will be the 3rd copy of the Book of Bill I own, which kind
Red, yellow, and green. Wow.
of makes it like the journals, huh? I legitimately
Kind
have
of.
to wonder if that was intentional. Anyway, you best believe that we're gonna be digging into this as soon as it arrives to see if there's any new secrets or threads to pull in our theorizing. I'll actually probably be doing like a bit of a first impressions thing over on my Instagram if you want to see that, at Forest First,
go
by the
check
way.
it out.
But if you want to get in the trenches with a ton of other fans to try to solve this stuff first, please go check out the Gravity Falls subreddit and Discord communities and join in on that fun. There are awesome
Very
people
nice.
over there.
Very
Anyway,
nice.
as I've been waiting for my copy
Okay.
to get here, I've been thinking a lot about Gravity Falls, and you know, it's kind of amazing that a series that ran for 2 seasons over a decade ago still has this much of a stranglehold on the wider theorizing community. And naturally,
It's got that
that's got me
Titan
wondering
grit.
why. What has Gravity Falls done that's kept it at the top of mind for so many people? Why
be a
is
damn
this
good
show
show.
still popular? Why do you still care about Gravity Falls?
I like
so
it.
today,
It's a
while I
good show.
patiently wait for my copy of the limited collector's edition and a blacklight to arrive, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to start a discussion and really break down why Gravity Falls has had the incredible staying power it's had over the years. And there are lots of reasons why it's stuck with us, but honestly, it might be even more popular the further and further we get away from it, because it's one of the only shows out there actually equipping its audience for the future. So grab your journals, loyal theorists, as we jump through the interdimensional portal to find out, why do you still care about Gravity Falls? Part 1, how it's
I've said my part. It's just a damn good show.
made. Believe it or not, to understand why Gravity Falls hit so hard, we have to start our story all the way back in 2007, almost 20 years ago. Oh god. This was when Alex Hirsch graduated from the prestigious CalArts College and got his first job as a writer and storyboard artist on the Cartoon Network show The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. If
Hey, I remember that show. It was
you
good.
don't know, this was a surreal
It was weird, but good.
cartoon about a young sailor, a talking whale,
Except for
and
the
a
final
pirate.
episode.
We should really do a theory
I know that many of you out there that's going to seem like a weird cut. Let me just go ahead and say this. This has been in almost 12 hours of waiting for my Wi-Fi to just work. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Let's just continue on.
someday, shouldn't we? Anyway, though
Yeah, that'd be
Flapjack
nice.
itself was short-lived, the influence this show had was massive. Like,
Oh, that's right. I was last talking about the series finale of that. Well, for some reason they turned on the Captain Knuckles, Bubby the Whale, and Flapjack completely human. And I mean 100% IRL people.
Seriously, along with Gravity Falls, the creators of
It's
Adventure
real.
Time, Regular Show, and Over the Garden Wall all worked on Flapjack, and this crew was given a surprising amount of freedom by Cartoon Network. In fact, Cartoon Network was described as a Wild West during this period, allowing the shows
Ooh.
being made here to get pretty
Oh.
crazy and work
Yeah.
as fun factories for both their creators and audiences.
That
And
was
you
a
know
real
what?
scene,
That
by the way.
worked, like, super well. While Disney was dominating the youth market during this period, especially with younger girls, Cartoon Network leaned hard
Yeah,
into
a lot of
programming
live
for
action
boys,
shows.
preteens, and young adults. Not all of
Ben
it
10.
worked, looking at you, live action shows on Cartoon Network. But this let cartoonists spread their wings and tell edgier stories.
The era of live action. Well, we had the dude, what would happen? Build, destroy, build, destroy. And that one show, A Hole in the Wall.
With more emotional depth. Case in point, the aforementioned Adventure Time, which was
What time
undoubtedly
is it?
the biggest cartoon on the air
Adventure
because it
Time.
combined its jokes with long-running storylines, horror imagery, emotional gut punches, and inappropriate innuendo. Disney saw this and they wanted a piece of the pie. It's a big reason why they also bought Marvel and Star Wars, but they wanted to try their hand at some original stories too. As the story goes,
That's
Disney
right.
actually reached out to creators like Hirsch for pitches, wanting to add them to their roster of talent. At the time, Hirsch wasn't super interested in creating children's content,
Yeah,
so
don't
he
have a
gave
lot
them a
going
very
on.
mature idea, adding details
But I
that
got
excited
something.
him, but would be pushing the mouse's boundaries, fully expecting them to turn him down. But they didn't. Like, no
Oh,
matter how weird
well,
this
okay.
pitch got, Disney was still on board. Oh,
It's like, so, I want to make a show that has a mind demon that can literally turn a person inside out. And Disney is just like, approved! Wasn't expecting that.
the grand uncle character is going to be morally bankrupt. There's weird mysteries that are going to take years to solve. The main villain is a two-dimensional pyramid man. Doesn't matter. We love it. And that was the best decision
Yeah,
Disney
mind
could
demon at
possibly
that.
made. See, this show wasn't Alex Hirsch's attempt at making a Disney cartoon. It was Disney's pass at making an Alex Hirsch show. And that's the first reason why it's still so popular. At its core, it was something its creator wanted to make. And
It
believe
is
me,
just
that
a good
style of show
show.
is popular worldwide. Like, we're getting to the point where you could travel the world and find Gravity Falls fans no matter where you end up. Though doing
That
all
is
of that
true.
travel would quickly bankrupt you, plus all the logistics of making it happen. Jeez, it's giving me a headache just thinking about it. But thankfully, Clue,
It would almost be better to do like Gravity Con.
the partner for today's theory, can make that all go away. So,
Ah.
true. Part 2. Good lordy, the writing. Because Gravity Falls was very much a Hirsch first production, a lot of
Well
elements from the
made
show are
and
based
the
on his
writing.
own personal experiences. For example, Dipper, Mabel, and Grunkle Stan are all based on his family. Dipper is kind of a self-insert, Mabel is
A
a
little bit.
loving homage to his twin sister, and Stan
Oh,
is
well, that's
his
cool.
grandfather. The town of Gravity Falls itself was born from Hirsch's time growing up in the Pacific Northwest, my favorite part of the country, by the way, with even specific locations like the tourist trap Mystery Spot
Oh,
being recreated
okay.
as the Mystery Shack. But this isn't just an author making fan fiction about his own life. No, inserting these themes is key to why Gravity Falls connects to its viewers. See, Dipper
it's
and
all
Mabel and
pretty
their
damn
story
real.
all feel so special because they take us all back to an important time in our lives, when we were growing up under the same roof as our siblings and family. Now, some of us are lucky enough to live near families and to still be in contact, but others, not so. We've either
That
moved
is
away,
unfortunately a
invested
shame.
in hobbies, gotten jobs, or started families of our own. Our preteen and
That's
teenage
true.
years were the last times we spent every day with our OG family, and for a lot of us, we've gone from hating sharing a room with our little brother who snores to only seeing them on holidays. Well, watching Gravity
Gets a little
Falls feels
sad
like
when
it's
you think
picking
like
up
that.
right where these childhood memories left off, with your crazy siblings and kooky grandpa going on whimsical adventures, because that's exactly what this show was for her. Like, this show was designed to appeal to like the most people possible, but Hirsch wanted it to
Exactly.
be relatable to everyone and connect to people emotionally. And that's why the show takes place during the last summer of Dipper and Mabel's childhood, as they're transitioning into teenagers, starting to gain more independence while still living relative.
They start the show as 12 years old, and the final episode, or at least around the final episode, happens on the 13th birthday, when they go from preteens to teenagers.
Really simple lives. And on top of that, it also captures a lot of other nostalgic feelings, like
Bigfoot,
going to
saw
summer
ya.
camp, hanging out with your crush, and learning about yourself. Though Gravity Falls does do this in a really smart way, externalizing those feelings into actual physical things in reality. But even on a meta
the
level,
PayPal,
Gravity Falls lives in this
scandal.
weird middle
Copy.
ground. As I'm sure all of the Gravity Falls superfans know, the show only had 2 seasons. And while it sucks
is a
that
bit
it
of a
ended
shame.
so early, that might have been a giant blessing in disguise. Like, it didn't live long enough to become corporate, for lack of a better word. See, the mouse is pretty selective about which properties it decides to really throw its weight behind. And if you
Though many of the fans, myself included, that one more season wouldn't have actually hurt it as that much at all. Well, like make it a 3-season show, and it would have been fine. But instead, it kind of got the anime treatment, where it only had the 2 seasons, and then that was it. That's the end. And at least the main show. There are all still other content like the Book of Bill and all that stuff.
don't live up to expectations, believe me, they are brutal and will cut you loose. Like, seriously, check out this theory we did last year about how they almost killed the X-Men in the comic books because they couldn't make movies about them. It's ridiculous. And though they did seek out Hirsch to make Gravity Falls, once it was on the air, they had gotten what they wanted. Especially with Marvel and Star Wars now on their roster, they had their boy and young adult-centric shows. And so, they let a lot
gun
of
was
great
getting loaded.
series end a lot earlier than they could have. Stuff like The Owl House, Amphibia, Star versus the Forces of Evil. You get the
Pretty
idea.
good shows
Like, to
all
Mickey,
around.
if something isn't going to appear in their parks,
haven't watched
which is
2
their
of them,
real
but yeah.
moneymaker, why even bother investing beyond a couple of seasons? Remember how I said that this was more of a Disney version of an Alex Hirsch show? Well, this is why. If Gravity Falls had kept running, if we were on like season 10 of this show, you just know it would have turned into something completely unrecognizable.
That would
But
be a little
instead, we
tough.
got a show that concluded on its own terms, giving its characters and plot threads satisfying endings, all while it didn't talk down to its viewers. And actually, the fact
I know the whole season 10 thing was just joking all, but yeah, that would honestly be way too damn much. I mean, Futurama did in like 6 seasons, then a 7th, and then did all the way up to 10 before having its cut off for 10 years. And now it's up to its 13th season. And honestly, I actually have to say Hulu's doing a pretty good job with the revival. Well, though, for the love of God, please just let Fry and Leela be full-on married. Don't make it in some other dimension or crap like that. Just make them frickin' married. That's all we're asking. Sorry, small tangent. Let's just go on.
fact that it treated like all of its viewers the same probably contributed to the next big reason it's still with us. Part 3, putting together the puzzle pieces. Now, when you hear good writing, you probably think of stuff like satisfying plots, great character development, funny jokes, interesting
Haha.
ideas executed well, and you'd be right. All of those things are great writing, and Gravity Falls has all of it in droves. But something else Gravity Falls really took advantage of was pre-existing folklore, fables, and fairy tales as the backdrop of its world. Like in Gravity Falls, magic is real, right?
In a way, they actually kind of did what Disney did and took, like they said, legends, folklore, and all that, and used it as the backbone to build out. I mean, think about it. Disney in the beginning was literally just animating fairy tales. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, all of those princess movies. All of them literally have real stories as their backbones.
Not only that, but so are aliens, and ghosts, and garden gnomes, and cryptids, and all of the sort of stuff you'd normally
Kraken,
see on
punch him in
some
the eye.
low-effort History Channel marathon. Well, I don't know about you, but I've never met anyone in my life who didn't wish at least one of those things actually existed in the real world. And
All of
like
us.
that would be true going back centuries and centuries. Now, this is great for a number of reasons. Like, first of all, most of these stories were originally told as ways to teach
multi-bail.
children life lessons in digestible ways, introducing them to the real world through the lens of fantasy. Like, think of Hansel and Gretel. The idea there is not to trust random strangers, go into their house, sneak their food, because they
Don't
might not
trust
have the best
strangers.
intentions in mind for you. That's awesome, and a great way to sort of recycle these ideas and stories into a new show like Gravity Falls, keeping all of the baggage that came with them before while also playing
yeah.
off of them.
Loch
But
Ness
Gravity
and
Falls didn't just
deal with with
used
the
these
devil.
sorts of folklore and fairy tales and mysteries as its wallpaper. It was a core component of the show that was taken
Extremely.
beyond the television screen. Yeah, instead of just being a show you could watch, Gravity Falls was designed from the ground up to have an element of audience participation with elements of an ARG layered in from its very first episode.
Literally.
And though it wasn't the first show that incorporated an ARG like this, it was definitely the most popular and aimed at the widest audience. So for those of us who missed the show's original run, Gravity Falls always had little hidden messages or small details that kept viewers engaged and rewarded those who were
Little bits
really
here and
paying
there.
attention. For example, the time traveler Blyndon Blandon cameos in the background of multiple episodes before his first real appearance in episode 9, where he ends up time hopping into those previous scenes. And this, my friends, is ultimately what converted viewers of Gravity Falls into super fans of Gravity Falls. While yes, the story behind the show and its clever writing and the way it used folklore would get people in the door, but Gravity Falls took things further by encouraging its viewers to do more than just watch passively. It dared them
You
to
gotta
rewatch
search,
every episode,
read
scan every frame,
all of it.
looking for mysteries to solve, and it even helped them develop new skills to do it. Early on, fans were drawn to the letters of gibberish that appeared during the end credits of every episode, though at
It's a
first it didn't
cipher.
really seem like there was anything useful to do with them. But then, eagle-eared fans caught on to a clue: whispers at the end of the opening credits. Well, when you play this
Yeah.
backwards, you're met with an interesting phrase.
Three letters
back. Now, these days, anyone who's participated in a FNAF ARG can tell you what 3 letters back means. It's
a
a clue
cipher.
that explains how to break a Caesar cipher, the encryption method where each letter of the alphabet is shifted in the same direction. So, this
Yep.
mess of letters from the first episode becomes Welcome to Gravity Falls. And once callers caught on to this, they began to find clues everywhere. Soon, there were codes hinting at different
Everywhere.
ciphers appearing in upcoming episodes, and audio messages found within other episodes still. For many, this was their first encounter with this sort of interactive media and puzzle solving. And
It
for
was so
others, it was a
fun.
chance to put their problem solving skills to the test every episode. And boy howdy, did this work. Gravity Falls got its hooks into people, looking for clues
Oh,
to
yeah.
mysteries that
Deep
may
as
or may
well.
not have even been there, trying to figure out the identity and the fate of the writer of Journal 3, or uncovering the truth behind Stan's secret passageway. Not like that, get your mind out of the gutter. And keep in mind, this was back when the internet as we know it was in its infancy. Sure, plenty of
I mean,
shows like Twin
kind
Peaks
of.
and Lost had people on message boards or chatting around the water cooler. But Gravity Falls was one of the first shows to put this sort of group theorizing with the ease and accessibility of a smartphone. You
Which
could
is
literally
golden.
be live chatting on the forums or live blogging on Tumblr from your couch
Nanomachine
on your
shut,
phone while
son.
the show was still on. A thing a lot of us didn't get a chance to do when our access to the internet was trapped in the family computer in the living room. But more importantly, what it did was to get people to watch the show and then watch it again and again
And again and again and again and
all
again.
in search of these clues. People loved this, and I cannot begin to tell you how effective it was. And again, it became more effective when Alex and his team brought it into the real world with something even more physical, with in-person
There it
ARG
is.
elements. Between seasons, the show's crew went on the Mystery Tour 2013, renting a van to
Sweet.
travel to weird tourist traps along the West Coast and leaving small drawings of Bill Cipher behind them. And if fans could find them, they'd get a silly prize. Just a month later, when the
Okay.
crew was noticing that fans were catching on to Stan having a twin that wrote Journal 3, they decided to have more fun, faking a leak on 4chan.
Yeah, I actually kind of remember that. And in the beginning, people like, well, hold on. If Stan is a great uncle or whatever the hell, and Dipper and Maple are twins, what's to say Stan didn't have a twin of his own? Stanford or something. And maybe Stan's real name is Stanley? Yeah, I don't know. Just something out there. But then people started building and building and building, and they were like, they're figuring it out too fast. Quick, drop it! And so McGucket became the author.
Where they posted an image of
short time.
McGucket writing the journal. While that might sound deceiving, fans took a lot of pride in getting the creators of the show to go to new lengths in order to keep the show's big twist alive. And even then,
Love
to
it.
the crew's chagrin, several fans called out the leak as fake. This dedication to creating
Unfortunately,
a
yeah.
living experience for fans to solve outside of the show would even live on after it was finished, with the great cipher hunt that we've covered a few times here on the channel. All
I
of which
remember
led
that.
up to the Book of Bill's release last year and the ARG that followed. explode. Now, we did several theories covering this ARG and the community's hard work decoding all of its puzzles, but needless to say, I think its success caught everyone at Disney off guard, since the book became a New York Times bestseller, moved more than 850,000 copies, and broke the website for the ARG. And while solving all of these puzzles is super cool, do you want to know what's even cooler? The fact that all of these hidden codes and messages in Gravity Falls actually taught kids how to think for themselves. It encouraged them to use their imaginations. This show was basically like a tutorial on how to solve different types of ciphers, to think outside of the box when confronted with puzzles, and to look at people who might seem two-dimensional at first and to see them as the three-dimensional humans they actually are. And
kind of pretty much just did Omni-Man's Mog. Think, Mog, think! And go, where will you be in 500 years when all of these people have turned to ash? Use your brain and think. I know that's not the complete quote. I haven't seen it in a while, but you know what I'm getting at, so just give me the chuckle. Just go ha ha.
And as the Gravity Falls fanbase got older, our itch to solve these puzzles remained. It shifted to channels like these, or to similar shows like Alex Hirsch's Inside Job over at Netflix, sure.
Oh,
but
he made
then
Inside
we were
Job?
reactivated by the release of Journal 3, the Black...
When are we getting Season 3, Alex? When are we getting Season 3 of Inside Job, Alex?
Light Edition, the Treasure Hunt, the ARGs, the Book of Bill, and we're still hungry for it because the children don't yearn for the minds, we yearn for the mind. And that's a great thing because in this day and age, we need those skills. It's what we need right now. I cannot stress this enough, but we're at a monumental, transitional phase in history. Gone are the days where we need to solve mysteries ourselves. Now we can just look up an Easter egg video on YouTube, check the wiki for details we missed, or ask ChatGPT if you're a
Actually, hold on, go back a moment. Just a couple more frames. Hold on, there's something in that vending.
Gone are the days where we need to solve mysteries ourselves. Now we can...
Huh, okay, so actually, let's take a look at that. So you got Star, Penny the Platypus, Bill, Rufus. Oh, many of y'all probably don't know who Rufus is, do you? Look up Kim Possible. That was a show that would get y'all going. And Wanda from Wanda Over Yonder, and of course King. And then I guess this guy's name was Spriggy or Spriggle? I don't know. Well, all I know is that he's from Amphibia.
Just look up an Easter egg video on YouTube, check the wiki for details we missed, or ask ChatGPT if you're especially lazy. Reddit and TikTok sleuths are able to solve puzzles faster as a collective than folks used to be able to as individuals. I mean, just look at the incredible work of the Gravity Falls communities on Discord and Reddit when the Book of Bill came out, solving those super tough puzzles in like no time flat. Life used to hold great mysteries, cryptids, and places on the map that weren't filled in. Here there be dragons or the like. The Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Chris Angel Mind Freak. It used to be fun not knowing whether or not something actually existed and trying to find ways to prove it. But now, nothing's a mystery anymore. A magician's tricks can be broken down in TikTok videos. The likes of the Chupacabra have been explained by science and history. UFO videos are easy to debunk with technology, and even then, well, personal story, but I used to get really excited by this sort of stuff. But now, you can show me video proof that an alien spacecraft landed in your backyard that would have been undeniable 20 years ago, and now I just see the After Effects and Blender tricks you used to make it. The truth behind all of those myths has been explained. With people more connected than ever before, with a majority of the world's information collected and easily accessible, with cameras everywhere and recording everything all the time, and the knowledge of experts put out there for anyone to learn from, the magic, the myth, the mysteries are gone. The X-Files used to say that the truth was out there, and now the truth is literally just a Google search away. But that's changing, and I have to wonder if we're going back into a new age of whimsy, a new age of the unknown. Now with
a new age of mystery.
AI more widespread than ever before, maybe we're going back and having sort of a reverse Bigfoot situation. Instead of all of this technology making it impossible for anything magical to exist and not be documented, we're circling back to the other extreme, where even the most mundane thing can be fake. It can be Photoshop or AI generated and leave us questioning
Okay.
everything again. And that right there, my friends, is the reason that Gravity Falls will continue to be beloved. Because it was already preparing people
I
for this
like it.
without
It's a
them
good
even
show.
realizing it. Preparing people to explore and question and solve mysteries, all while being emotionally resonant with what we feel as an adult. And right now, that's more important than ever, especially with the world's attention span and media literacy lessening day by day. Just
Which
saying
is
you're
indeed
not
a
going to beat
critical
Bill Cipher
shame.
by doom scrolling. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. Up next.
Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of y'all next time when we flick back on. Till then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.